All right, y'all. Tonight we got Marvin White out of Indiana. He's a veteran barber, but now he is a school owner in Indiana. I had the privilege and honor to meet Marvin and his wife, and they came to my house. We had a lot of fun. So I've got to meet Marvin face to face. He gave me some sneakers with the orange stripes. Orange is my favorite color. So I appreciate that. We're not going to waste no time. We're going to get off into it. So Marvin, tell us how you even got started, but let's go back to your childhood. We always like to start with that.
Okay. Born and raised in Chicago all my life. Went to grammar school. Was born in the Wild Hunters. Anybody know about Chicago? I was born in the Wild Hunters, moved over East 67th Street over that way. And then, I got into high school. Growing up, went never into barbering though. Barbering wasn't my thing. I was into music a lot. So me and my homies, we used to do the music stuff all the time. I didn't get into the barber game until almost when I moved to Indiana, maybe like 02, something like that. But I was trying to figure my way out, man. After high school, moved down to Minnesota. Supposed to went to college in Minnesota. That didn't work out. Came back home, trying to find jobs and stuff, man. I had just about every job you can name, door to door, selling sneakers, gym shoes, mail room, what else? I had just any job you could name, I had, but I had got into the hotel business, right? When I was probably like in my early 20s, maybe like 23-ish, something like that. And a friend of mine, he was a couple of years older than me, and he was telling me about he about to buy a 2-flat building and stuff. So, I was thinking like, my mindset wasn't even on like entrepreneur stuff, just running the streets, making money in the streets, however you get it. So, I was like, man, that's pretty dope. And we became tight friends. And so I started hanging with him. And he ended up getting the building and we became good friends. And so my whole mindset changed because I was hanging with him and he was just doing like stuff, like, man, you doing this, you going to banks, they give you a check for this, oh, you got to close it. So I was kind of thrilled about that stuff, right? So we end up by us working at the hotel, the tips that we was making good money. We end up trying to open up a clothing store. So we went down to Las Vegas to the magic show, all that type of stuff. And so that was my first taste of the entrepreneur world, but I wasn't into barbering at all. I still wasn't even thinking about that. So that didn't work out. So after the hotel, because we both got fired because they didn't approve our vacation time, something like that. Something happened, and we came back. They fired us, man. And so after that, I went into just real estate. I went into real estate. I became a real estate appraiser, and that was pretty good. I used to love that job. I did that for a couple of years. Market messed up. Truck driving I did after that. I really didn't like the truck driving. That wasn't my thing. But I did it maybe about, I don't know, maybe 6 years. And so now I'm leading up to how I got into the haircut stuff. So with the truck driving, it's pretty much seniority. So this particular day, I know I'll get laid off around after the holidays, and they hired me back around the springtime. I was working for I won't say the name, but I was working for a job that delivered ice. Um, so after that, after the season was over, the new person get laid off. So I wasn't a new person at this time. They end up keeping the new person. And so by this time, I'm about 4 years in with them. And once I got wind of it, I just like, I'm not coming back. Cause I'm getting unemployment, man. My unemployment wasn't nothing but like, chump change, man, like weekend money. So I got fed up. But the route I used to take home, I used to always see this barber school. Always see it. And this time I was going home, I said, you know what? I passed it up. I made a U-turn, got the number, called the next day. And so that's how I got into the hair game. But mind you, my mom used to do hair before I was born. And, when I was just running around in the street trying to find myself, she used to always say, go get your barber license. I'm like, nah. I didn't really think the barber game was really that, to be honest with you. It wasn't that to me, even though they was fly, but I didn't think the money was there like that. So I did it, and I graduated. And when I graduated, I went to school in Indiana, but I want to go back to the crib, to Chicago, to cut, because that's where all my people at. Man, so I get to this shop. So she started me, 25, 50, 75, maxed out at 125, whatever. So I got maxed out at 125, but I didn't make it. And the girl, she owned the shop. She ended up kicking me out, and I grew up with the girl. So that kind of like did something to me. So I said, okay. So I said, well, let me go back to Indiana. I started cutting hair in Indiana, boom. And I got with some big dogs out here who I was cutting with. And they really trained me real good out here. And so I was bouncing shop to shop, maybe 2-3 years. And then I end up working in this other shop. So the shop that I was working in, I end up owning it. And that was probably, I got out of barber school 08, something like that. And I end up owning that shop till like 2 years ago. Had a great run, man. My shop was super dope. One of the best shops in Hammond, Indiana. Marvelous cuts. Um, I had a great run, great run. So I started getting my business stuff going on how to, just interact, talk, and, be a people's person, give back to the community. So I started loving it, man. I really did. And I knew it was for me. So, I would give back to the community. I have parties. I donate to the basketball teams. Just everything you could name, everything, game trucks for back to school stuff, everything that the community, a barbershop would do for the community, I did. And I had a great run. But what happened, maybe about 2 years before I decided to go over to the school part of it, the shop just wasn't fun anymore. I used to have parties, man. I had like celebrities coming to the party. I have celebrities. Casper came through. A couple of local people who real big in Chicago came through. So I had all of that going, everything. Everybody was like, man, when you get on your next party, it was like real, real, real nice, man. And then it just wasn't fun. It was like this 1 year. It was just 1 year. Now, mind you, I'm about 10 years in by this time. And I was just coming to the shop, man, and it was just like, the laughs wasn't laughing right. It was just something just clicked in. And people was telling me, man, you should try to open up another shop, or, I was hearing like, man, open up a school. But I was like, the school is far-fetched. Like, nah. I could do the shop because that's my lane. And one day I just said, you know what, let me just start looking into the school stuff. And I Googled it, then I went on YouTube. And I went on YouTube, I was saying stuff, then I see a picture of you, and then I'll look at some stuff, come back to it. Then every time I would Google it on YouTube, I see a picture of you. So I'm like, man, let me just check him out. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was like, man, he can't be real. Millionaire Barber. I said, no. Mm-mm. And I end up, but now I was already doing that research maybe about a good year. Maybe about a good year. And then I was like, well, let me really dig into it. So I started watching your videos heavy, almost like every day, downtime at the shop, on lunch. I just put my earbuds in, just watch your videos. I said, I'm gonna get this guy a call. And I remember when I called you, I think I had emailed you or something or text you, something like that. And then you hit me back and you told me what to do from there, man. And now uh the shop is open. This is my first month with two students. Uh, I should have a total of three students this month, but two students are there now. Um, I should have had about seven that started, but paperwork and people just not following up. So that's where I'm at now, man. And
Now, you
hey,
and your
that
brother
was
came to Nashville. How did y'all tell us about that? How did y'all end up at my house?
um I was just, I said, let's take a ride down here and see what he about. And I, you know what, we was talking, here and there, me and you. So I got a good feel of people pretty much. So I just really just wanted to be around you, just to see how you move and stuff. So we took the ride down there, man, and man, it was just open arms, man. Hey, when he say he got a crib, man, he got a nice house. He got a lovely mom. Just when you walk into the house, it just feel welcoming, man. So we came down there. I believe that was a Friday or Saturday, and I had booked the hotel. So Kim was like, "Man, no, you don't have to book the hotel. No, man, you can come stay with me." And I said, "Man, I already paid for it." So anyway, we ended up staying with Chia, um, and I remember that night we had went out. Me and my wife went out, and then I was like, man, in the morning, can I talk to you? And he's like, yeah. And that morning, I think it's about like 7 to 8. I text you up. You like, yeah, I'm already downstairs. I was like, man. And so I just wanted to come down there just to get a feel, you know, of how's your day-to-day life, because by this time I'm already, I'm watching you every day almost. So I'm kind of like, okay. Um, so I didn't know the orange was your favorite color though. I was just like, I had gym shoes in my shop. I had a gym shoe store in my shop, man. Um, I had like a full mini mall in my shop. I was selling cologne. I was selling like glasses, designer glasses and stuff, the real stuff. Um, so, I'm not just gonna come empty handed. So I just like, let me bring him some shoes and stuff like that. So I kind of looked up on the orange joint for you. I didn't know that orange was your favorite color. Yeah, I just asked you what size. And so those was the only orange I had. So yeah, like I looked up on that. So it was a great move though, because it made me understand how, because I've never been around a millionaire. I've been around people with money, but not millions. So um, it just gave me a good vibe from you, man. Um, and so when I left there, it was over with. I'm like, yeah, this where I'm at in life. This is what I want to do. And if you can remember the conversation, I was like, Jim, what you doing? You was breaking little stuff down. Like, yeah, I do this, I do this. I was like, man, you do all of this. You don't even look like it. And yeah, but it was a great time, man. you opened up the doors for me and my wife, open arms, and it was a good trip. It was a good trip, man. So yeah.
So what were you thinking while you were here? What, what was going through your mind? Because we talked a lot downstairs.
I was just thinking, like, man, it's always like a rush. Like, man, I can't wait till I get to this level because we was playing ping pong. He got a real ping pong at his crib, so we was playing ping pong. And when we was talking, I just like, man, I just can't wait to get to this level. And I have patience, and I know what it takes. So, but it was just good to be around something positive like that, and it's legal. And I was just thinking, like, I'm on my way. That was it. That was just expiring to me. So I was just like, I'm on my way. And I put I got in my lane, put my horse glasses on, and I'm running. So
So
yeah.
you and your wife, you all leave and go back home. Tell us about that. You go home, and what's next?
Well, so when I go home, because all the talk was about you all the way home. So when we get home,
Was Savina here with her and
Savina
Dennis?
was there from Mississippi, y'all. Her
Yeah,
and her
her and
husband.
Dennis. Yeah.
Yup, her and Dennis. Yup, they was there. Yup. And then there was another guy there too, but I don't think he stayed.
Okay.
Um, but yup, it was us four. Yup. So and I still text her, my wife texts her, here and there just to, say hey, what's going on, stuff like that. But when I got back, Chin, it was over with, man. I went through my rules and regulations. I started looking for a place. Because really I didn't, like I tell people, I didn't leave the shop because the shop was going down. I still had my shop was filled, man. I had like 8 chairs, the gym shoes, everything was going great, man. But it was just something in me was like, I need to do this because I'm leaving the shop early. I'm not like that when I first started, like I would wait for my client type. I'm gonna wait for him till he get off work. Okay, I know he running late. Okay, he want to come an hour later. All of that energy was gone. So it was just like I wouldn't treat my clients well. I mean, I wasn't disrespecting them in a way, but it was that energy to keep that shop going. It was just gone. It was just it wasn't fun. I was just going to make money and I'm gone. So I found the place. It was a young lady in there, and she was running. I forgot the name of it, but she had like a spa. So it was like if she was going to get like people who were sick, pick them up, then she'll watch them overnight. That was the place that I got. So it was like a doctor office or something, but how she had it set up. And so how I ended up getting it, COVID messed her up. And she was like, once COVID hit, it was like went downhill. And I went, checked it out, told her when I want to get it from her, and we made the deal. And I got it from her, and I started working over there, but then I still had my shop running, and it's crazy because my lease to the shop um was renewing that year, and I didn't sign it, so I had till December of that year 2 years ago. Um, so I was just working over there just to get a feel of it. She had emptied out a room for me to work in, and I was paying her, whatever. And so I still had my shop. And then once the shop closed, then uh, out of the 7 people, 3 people came with me over there. And she had also a tattoo artist who was at her spot, and he was there. And that was in December. In February, she left, and I took it over. Um, and then I just started renovating, man. I just started renovating, and I have like 6 rooms. So like each room, we'll start in this room, and Okay, we got to pull up carpet, man. And it took some time, man. And it was some days to where I was like, man, boy, this is a big project. I was like, this is a big project. And it was some nice, like, because, it was like almost a total gut out because, you got the paint, you have the carpet, the lights, just this was probably the biggest project I had to do. It was worth it, but it was some nights to where I was like, man, I'm just make these sweets, man. Forget it. That's it. But I'm glad I did. So yeah, when I left, it really took me to it gave me that energy what I needed when I left you. And that's what I needed. So yeah.
Now as far as like the paperwork, what was you feeling about the paperwork? And what were you thinking when you would call me or text me? What was in your mind every time you call or text me?
Man, that paperwork, it could be the smallest thing, man. That's that paperwork. You really have to have that paperwork together. Your paperwork, that's what it is. It's the paperwork, you gotta have it together. Just it's no way around it. Without Chin, I wouldn't have did it. It's just too much. Without him, I know I probably would still be like, you know, trying to get approved. I don't know, but that paperwork was serious. So I mean, every time I called you, everything I needed, you gave it to me. But that paperwork is tedious. You got to dot them I's, cross them T's, and it's like you have to. There's no way around it, and there's no way around it. So when he say make sure your paperwork is good, and I'm not even that far in, just a little bit as far as my inspection and just sending it in and stuff. Because when I sent my paperwork in the first time, I'm gonna tell you this story, man. So I had my instructor. Um, I did my layout of the shop of the school, and what else they asked for. And I think I had put a number on there that was too much. So I sent my application in with the money, and so they emailed me back, and they was like, yeah, so um, your instructor, she's not an instructor. Um, your layout, I don't know what the chairs are, and I don't know what the mirrors are. And I think I was charging maybe like $75 for, I don't know, I forgot what it was, but it's like only $25 for maybe transcripts or something. So anyway, I changed all of that. But the layout had like where the chairs was at. So I'm just assuming like, okay, they know the mirror gonna be there, but they wanted to have like, the circle and then put on the side the circle represent chairs, the box represent the mirror, and I had to redo all of that. Um, and luckily, man, that day, an instructor called me and he heard that I was opening up a school, and we had it interviewed, and the next day I sent his license in, and so that's how I ended up getting another instructor, and then everything else just fell into place. And so I think I had called you like, Chin, they messing with me or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And but yeah, that paperwork, man, that paperwork is serious. Yeah, that paperwork. But that paperwork gonna get you where you need to be.
So did you tell people you were going to open a school?
I didn't tell a lot of people, because I'm more of the show and prove. Like I'm a do it, and then you might be like, yeah, I got a school. But I didn't tell like a lot of friends. I told like my close friends, of course my mom, sister, stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't tell a lot of people. But people start finding out because I wasn't at my old shop anymore. So, but a lot of people didn't think I was going to do it either. Like, man, this is a big project, man. You might as well. And I was like, nah, man, I'm committed. So no, I didn't try to tell a lot of people. They just end up finding out because I had moved locations and I was still doing all of my clientele. So I had a big clientele. Yeah.
Now, when you got your approval for inspection, can you tell them about that?
Uh, so for my inspection, I had sent my paperwork in, and it took them. So she emailed me back maybe 2 weeks. She emailed me with all the stuff that I need to correct. Sent that in, and so she said, "Yeah, you should be hearing something back within, a week or two." Well, no, you know what? She didn't. She didn't. She said soon, because she didn't give me a specific date. So maybe like a month passed, and I was like, "Man, I haven't heard." I'm checking my email every day. I said, "I haven't heard anything." It was almost a month, because when I emailed her back, she said, "Well, they have up to uh 30 days to come do the inspection." I said, "Okay." So they came out maybe that following week and a half or something like that. And so, they emailed me back, right, Chan. So they, we gonna come out. I said, okay. So now I got, my crew, man, we got to get in here, clean everything up. I mean, just everything. So we in there till like 12 o'clock the day before the inspection. I'm just making sure everything right. I got my paper, my pens, just everything. And so when you first walk into the school, how it's set up, because the building is part of it is the dialysis part. And so I got the other half that dialysis wasn't using anymore, where the doctors and stuff would do the, I guess the blood work and stuff. So the other side, they just made that all one. So where I'm at, they wasn't using that part. So, but it's still set up like a doctor office, almost, if you see it. So anyway, when you first walk in that door, that's the lobby. So I had the lobby like real good, man. Like it was real nice. So now I have to have 20 chairs in my state. So I have 6, 7 rooms, something like that. So all of my chairs were in rooms, but I have a total of 20. Now, mind you, I was reading my rules and regulations every day. So the day come the inspection, and the lady, it was 2 of them. So the lady come out, and she's like, "Hey, hi," and so she was like, "Okay, it's nice." So she was like, I had one chair in the lobby, and I had that only because a lot of dialysis patients be in wheelchairs. So I just thought that'd be, kind of make it comfortable, so they won't have to go all the way to the back, just get them right there. So I just had that one chair. So she was like, "Okay, I see one chair. Where your other chairs?" So I said, walk with me." So now, mind you, it's set up like a doctor's office. You have to go to the tape to see what I'm talking about. So I had like, like if you walk into a doctor office and you go check in, I had that type of setup. You go check in at the window, they move the sliding glass, that type of setup. And then you go into the door. So we walk into the door. Now that's the main floor. So the main floor is I had like 5 chairs over here, then every other chair is in rooms, 4 here, 5 here. So she said, mm-mm. Man, Chin, when she gave her that, man, my soul dropped. So I said, "What?" She was like, this not gonna work. Where your chairs at? I said, "Well, I got chairs in this room. I have chairs over here." She was like, "Okay, just walk me. Just let's see what you got." So I'm boom, boom, boom. And man, she was like, "It's not gonna work." So I'm like, "What?" And man, I'm like on 10 now, because I said, "Well, what's wrong?" She said, "All your chairs have to be in an open area." So I said, "Well, it didn't say that in the rules and regulations." So we going through the rules and regulations, and she goes, "Well, see here, I don't know word for word, but it said like you have to have a room that you can do theory and then after theory, then you do your clinic floor. So I said, oh yeah, I seen that. I said, but I have multiple rooms. So I just use the rooms to divide them up. She said, well, no, it doesn't say that you have to have one room. So I said, well, I just took that only if you had one room. So we going back and forth. But luckily, she was nice, man. She really helped me out through it. So that part, what I'm saying, like when you first walk in with the sliding door and you check in, I had to cut that wall down. I had to cut that down, and I just thought it was over with. So the guys who I had working there, I asked him could he do it. He's in the Army, so he said, well, he have to leave, but he got a guy. So he's brought some guys over there. They did it within like 4 days. But she was like, soon as you do it, call me back. But while she was there, she still, checked everything, make sure everything worked. So the second time around, they came out. They was there maybe 20 minutes. And she was like, yeah. And they wrote me off. So that was one good thing. And then right after that, she said, well, you should be getting some in the email, stating, everything is cool. So now I'm waiting on this letter from the state board to send me, my school number or whatever. And so I called state board and they like, well, you still have some issues that haven't been resolved. So I'm like what issue? So she started naming them off about the instructor, and all that stuff. I said, no, I took care of those. Then she was like, well, they still in the computer. So I said, well, is there someone I could talk to? Well, she's on vacation. So I said, well, I already had my inspection though. So she was like, well, I know, but I said, but you can't move forward if your paperwork isn't ready to get inspection. And so that went on for about 3 weeks. So I end up getting that. I got that. And it's this program that I was that Indiana offers, Work One. And the next day, Work One had sent a student came to me to register, and she used Work One. And, they need all of that paperwork, your license number for the school and all that. And it just so happened that I had it the day before. So that's why I say your paperwork has to be good. And so now I'm official. I got everything in, and now I'm up and running. So I've been open last week Wednesday. Last week Wednesday, it was my first day. Yeah.
So can you tell us about your first student, how that went?
The first student, yeah, Brandon. Brandon was cool. Brandon came in. I cut his cousin or uncle hair, and he was telling him about him, and he came to see the school, before I opened, and he said, I'm gonna rock with you. And so, we did did the paperwork, and he came in, and then I got another student who came in. I had, it should have been about 7 people who started, but I only ended up with 2. But the first student, he worked in the shop already. He just needed his license. So, I'm telling him, man, come on and get official and get your license. So he signed up. And he a good barber too. He a cold barber. So yeah.
So how does it feel to be a school owner? I mean, how you tell us about that?
You know what, man? It just put me on it make me feel it's a good feeling knowing that it's like going to the league, man. It's like, it's nothing else after that. The only thing you could do now is just add more schools, but I'm in the league now. So it gives me that type of feel, it gives me that type of feel. Not knocking anybody who just want to do the barbershop, because that's cool too. But the school, that's a whole nother playground, man. That's a whole nother book. So I feel great about it, man. And it's a challenge because I'm at that point to where now, you know, um, just it's just I just got two students, so it's just like it's not crowded, and you don't have theory for so many hours, and you might have like one to two clients walk in. So I'm at that stage, but I'm embracing it, so that's fine with me.
Well, you're doing good because I had 0 students for months. So that's really good.
Cool.
Now, how did your wife feel through this whole process?
Oh, she rocking with me, man. She there 100%. Whatever I want to do, she's just like, cause when I say I had every job, man, and I should have thought about it back then because I would just get fired like for no reason. Um, I couldn't keep a job, but I always wanted to work. I wasn't a lazy dude, but it's just I didn't like people just talk to you any kind of way, or you know it's so I would just always get fired from jobs, man, always. And yeah, I haven't had a job, man, in like a 9 to 5 in a while. Um, so she just, she know that I'm a, you know, get out and do my thing, and she know when I do it and I get locked in, she know I'm gonna make sure it happens. So she running with me all the way.
How
Yeah.
long you been married?
You know what? August 8th made 23 years.
So when you would get fired, Marvin, and come home, what would you tell her?
I call her on the way home, like, I just got fired from this job, man. And she'll be like, for real? I'll be like, yeah. And but I go back out and get another job. It wouldn't take me long, but it was Chin, I'm a good dude, man. I'm a good dude, I'm a respectful dude, but I'm not gonna let anybody talk to me no type of way, and not being on no tough stuff. I'm just saying it as far as like, because I did a lot of corporate jobs. So, especially like with the hotel stuff, they talk to you any kind of way. So I'm gonna write you up, and I it just 9 to 5 wasn't for me. I don't want to get into the all of that, but yeah, man. If you say a job, I had this one job. Let me tell you about this one job. I did direct TV. Now I'm scared of heights, but we used to have this long letter that go up. Man, I did it all, Chin. I did it, man. I used to have people this pointing the wrong direction. Um, just everything, man. It was all bad, man. So, but I love working for myself, um, because it's a challenge for me. Um, and I love cutting hair. I never thought in life I would cut hair. My mom used to do hair before I was born, and she's still doing it. She's going to go to my school to get her instructor license. Um, but I just never thought I would be cutting hair. I never cut hair in high school. I never cut hair. I wasn't the hood barber, none of that. But when I did it, I just took off and I liked it. Yeah.
What was you doing in barber school? How was that?
What kind of job I had?
No, when
Or
you enrolled in barber school, what was that like? Your time in barber school?
I felt old, man, because I was like 30. I was probably like 30, 31. Yeah, something like that. So I felt like it was a young man's game because when my class, it was probably like 20 of us who came in my class. Everybody didn't graduate, but I was in my 30s. But I got it's about 7 people fresh out of high school. This guy like going on 25. So, but it was cool. It was cool, because you could still learn um from them. You could still learn. So I had Mexican, I had white. So I'm learning. I'm watching them cut, the round flat cells and stuff like that, and using their techniques. But it was cool. It wasn't no problem. It took me about a year. The day Michael Jackson died, that's when I think that's when I got off the clinic floor because we was watching it when we was punching out. So that's why I always remember when I came out of barber school. Yeah.
And when did it finally click when you really decided that you was going to open this school? Because you've been thinking about it, I guess, watching and all that, but when was it the defining moment?
Just going to the shop every day, Chin. When I was going to the shop every day, man, I mean, like my shop was fun. We was going to shop. It was I had a real barber shop. You can come in there, you know, we might have a drink after the shop is closed, we might have a party. It's might be somebody young client birthday. So, let's all put on for a cake when he come. Surprise. So I had a real barbershop. So all of that type of energy was just gone. It was more so like I'm gonna come do these 10 clients, then I'm up. And so people like, man, what you about to do? I said, go to the house, man. You know. Um, so yeah, once that left, it wasn't fun. It was more like, I like that, I like good energy and the energy that was given off. I don't know. It just left me. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. The clients was there, the shop was still there, every all the barbers were still there. So it just wasn't fun anymore though, you know. So I just say I had a good run at the barbershop.
So, Marvin, what would you tell a beauty professional that's thinking about opening a school? Because we got a lot of people over here tonight, and there's going to be a lot of people on YouTube to watch this. It's over 1 million beauty professionals. What would you tell them, somebody that's working at a shop or a salon suite or a job, but they're in the beauty profession and they kind of thinking about opening a school, but I guess what does fear kick in or whatever? What would you tell that person?
First thing I would say, are you serious? Because it's not like opening up a barbershop. I mean, you can open what I have. If I want to open up a barbershop, it'll be opened up by next month. It's not that. You really have to be focused. You have to be serious, and you really have to be patient. So if you don't have those three things, don't do it. But it's worth it. I would tell you that it's worth it, man, because when I walk in there now, I got that first when I first walked in my barbershop, like, man, I really got a barber school now. So it was all worth it. It took me 2 years. And I went room from room. Okay, we're gonna pull this carpet up. Okay. And then I have how much you gonna charge me per room to pull this carpet up. Okay, I'll make that money. Boom. Give him hell. Okay, next week. Well, by Saturday, I'm gonna move everything to this room. You start in this room. So that's you have to be patient and you have to be really into what you about to get into. So if you don't have that, don't get into it because you're gonna waste a lot of money. But it's really worth it. I believe, you can still have your barbershop, but I believe like once you get in like 10 years in the game, go ahead and open your school, man. It's worth it because um my mom, it's a school out here called Dudley's. It's another one. All I had just that they had just a hair show that I went to, me and my mom probably like 2 weeks ago at Dudley's. And a lot of them, getting up in age, man. It's time for a new vibe, new generation, new type of energy to come into this game of ownership of the school. So I would say, 10 years in the game in the barbershop, maybe, once maybe 5. Go ahead and get into let me open up a school, but be serious about it. Because if you're not, you're gonna waste your time. You're gonna waste your time and your money. And yeah, so I'm glad my struggle over. I'm just, ready to get accredited now. So
Um, what about if a person say, well, I'm just gonna do it myself. I don't need no help.
mm-mm. Like that lady said, don't do it. You better call Chin. You better call Chin because of course you can Google and YouTube, but it might be that one key thing that may mess up the whole paperwork. That one thing. And it's a lot. I'm still putting paperwork together. That I think I called Chen yesterday and today about some stuff. So you really need somebody to guide you through this process. And I'm serious, like, it's a big project. It's a real big project. Your paperwork have to be right, period. There's no way around it. So call Chen, man. I'm not gonna even tell no story about it. Call Chen up and get your paperwork right. Because without it, you don't have a school. Yeah, you can have the school ready to go, but if that paperwork ain't ready, you got a building that look like a school, and that's it. But your paperwork have to be right. I'm a firm believer of that, man. They gave me it was rough, but I'm glad I'm past that shit. So, but be serious about it. The school is big boy status, man. I'm one of them guys who, I'm not gonna front like I don't want the money. Yeah, I want the money. I'm not gonna even front, but I love what I'm doing. So it's not, it's not like I'm a not be doing, charity and, giving back, because I always do that. But yeah, man, get into school, man, and get it filled up, enjoy your life, and so that's the role I'm on, so.
Do you have time for some questions, Marvin? Because people have been asking questions in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you would be on here seeing other people interview, what would you be thinking when you would be like in the audience or the sidelines?
Hey, Chen. Hey, like I said, man, I got to get on Chen's show. That's all I was thinking. I can't wait my turn. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I said I can't wait to get official. And when somebody turn on Chen channel and they see my stuff, so I was, I wanted to, I've been wanting to get on here since I said I'm gonna give me a school. So it's an honor for me to be on here, man, because just because of the struggle and the dedication and the will and the drive that people that you interview on here have to get on here. It's almost like, from what I've seen, everybody you interview have to have a school. So that's, that's a certain type of group that I'm in. I have a school, and you go watch this page to, get some information about the school. So, it's dope for me. Super dope.
Okay.